All right. Great morning, great day, great afternoon, just great. Great day, great day. It's me. It's me. So I'm back. So it's been a while. I'm sorry. I keep saying I'm gonna record, then life gets lifing, and it's been busy. I'm dealing with I've been dealing with a hematoma on my port. I'm kind of still. I had a little minor. They went inside it today, and I'm still a little loopy from the anesthesia. So bear with me. So I'm about to do something for work as well as talk to you guys. So I have another topic that I've really been working on. Something's gonna be pretty big. I'm gonna try to release it in the next, probably in 2 weeks. So I'm posting today. I'm hopefully gonna post next week, but okay. Um, so lately I've been seeing a lot of stuff about exposure, people being exposed for cheating on their spouse, and or there's preachers, married couples. I don't know. I'm bear with me. I'm just gonna go as I go. And it's crazy because it's like every week it's like somebody's being exposed. This week is just starting. It's been kind of quiet. So I'm kind of glad. I'm tired of hearing about it. Okay, and I guess I'm tired of hearing about it because, like, I'm a firm believer that, everything is circumstantial. Everything is circumstantial. Everybody's situation is not going to be the same. I'm a firm believer in that. Because, like, okay, so, I'm black, I'm gay, and I'm a Christian. A person across me could also be black, gay, and a Christian, but our stories are totally different. So what got us to this place, okay, be, it may seem to run parallel or in the same direction. However, the road to get here is definitely, it's not always going to be the same road taken. All right. So let's talk about it. I think it's weird that this whole culture of exposure, particularly, well, let me start to the story that really grabbed my attention. That really it pissed me off, to be completely honest with you. And I get so mad. Okay, stop, slow down. So, a porn star came out and he was saying that he slept with this preacher. I don't know if the preacher is married or not. I really didn't care. To be completely honest with you, I really didn't care. But I heard his name before. But when I heard his name, it was always as far as his preaching accolades and things of that nature. Okay. So apparently, the porn star came out, exposed him, all this great stuff, said they were sleeping together, blah, 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 blah. So then apparently the guy told this preacher he was at Sam Franklin's church. And this is the story. It's the story that I've heard. So I'm going to say allegedly. Allegedly. But everything, allegedly all this, allegedly the man slept with the man, okay? Allegedly. So, um, allegedly he went to the church that the preacher was supposed to be preaching at, and they wouldn't let him in the church. And Sam Franklin got a bunch of pushback about, and it's crazy, it was from the gays saying, oh, it's unfair treatment, it's this, that, and the other. And it just shows that, the gay community did get kicked out of the church, da 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 da. Okay, cool. Let's talk about it. So I don't find what Sam Franklin did was wrong. Because the question comes down to, I'll make a couple of points. And I'm going to drive it home with the aha moment of it all. Okay? So it's kind of like a prelude to the videos coming out in 2 weeks. I don't feel bad for the young man. That's a porn star. I don't feel bad for him. I can understand why they wouldn't let him into the church. And it's simply on the grounds of, why are you here? Are you here as a distraction, or are you here for a word? Are you here for a distraction, or are you here as a distraction, or are you here to really, it's about your spiritual journey? Like, what was your purpose? And my question also goes back to, you're saying all this stuff, but why come now? You've had all these opportunities to come to the church, but now he's preaching, you want to come. And now you want to scream foul. But no, you have to understand. I guess we have to understand it's like nobody, and everybody got mad because, the man got to preach, but everybody has a thing. Everybody has a thing. Everybody has something in the back room that they don't talk about, whether it's a feeling, emotion, a sin, a proclivity, or anything of that nature. Everybody has a thing. I have my stuff that I don't talk about. Like, I have shit that only me and, hell, one person may know. That's it. And I got some shit that I'm going to take to the grave that only I know. It's between me and God, okay? And it's just so crazy because I feel like, okay, so I got to be careful because I don't want to go into the topic for less than 2 weeks. But we're going to talk about exposure and accountability. That's my focus of today. Exposure and accountability. So when it comes to a preacher being called out there or making a mistake or being exposed, here's my thing. You don't owe me an apology. You don't owe me. I don't gotta forgive you. You ain't do nothing to me. I don't have to forgive you. I didn't get on the cross for you. So I think it's one of those things where it's a difference. If you did something to me, you owe me an apology. But if it's a situation that has nothing to do with me, I mean, everybody loves a good story. However, when it comes to you asking for forgiveness and all that great stuff, you don't owe me an apology. Like, that's strictly between you and God, And I think that's the thing that we gotta kind of, I'm trying to go into the topic. But in this particular situation, it's crazy because whatever discussion this preacher had with San Franklin, that's between them, not me. And I can get why they didn't let that young man go into the church. But I think it's one of those things to where the church and the gay community is wrong because it's one of those things to where we'll love a person, we'll support them, but the moment they piss us off, then we want to tell their business. The young man that sat there and is playing this role as a victim to this preacher and all this other great stuff, and I'm going to just keep it a buck. The question comes, why are you exposing him? Why? Why do you feel the need to expose this man to everybody? If he was married, that's a conversation with you and his wife. If you know that's a conversation between you, him, and his pastor. That's if something dire was completely done. Like, and the thing about it is, were you trying to expose him to atone, or were you trying to embarrass him? Because let's just keep it a buck, because that's what we're gonna do over here in this video, in this neck of the woods on YouTube. We keep it a buck, like I told you. We talk about life lessons. We talk about all these great things, and we're honest. Like, you knew this man was married before you lay down with him. You knew this man was who he was before you took off all your clothes. You knew what he was affiliated with, and you knew you were nothing but a trick. Let's just call it. Like, you were supposed to, you get your little $40 and take your ass home. He paid you for a good time. That's it. That's it. That's all. And what happens is a lot of people get in these situations and they get the pillow talking and stuff like that, and then they catch feelings. And then they get upset when they're not getting the relationship that they want. But baby, it's pillow talk. You're a trick. That's it. Collect your $40, carry your ass on. That's what it's supposed to be. But you choose to, and it's crazy because you used that this war between the gays and the church, you weaponize it and you use your sexuality as a weapon. And you used it as a weapon, but when it came to when you first met this man, you used it as a safe place because you guys had something to relate to. So you made this man feel comfortable, and you was trying to get what you could, got him financially, and it's one of two things: either you caught feelings, or you were trying to secure a bigger bag, and he wasn't giving you more than what you was paying for. I seen how the boy looked. That man won't. You won't, baby. You're not cute enough for the struggle, baby. You. Ooh, that was not nice. That was not nice. But hey, it is what it is. You're not a victim. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say it, but this happens so much, and we never really look. I mean, it's like we coddle these people. We coddle them. He did this to you, and we get so caught up in the fact that, oh, another gay preacher is exposed. Well, what about your exposure? What about what you do? I've been with people that were married in my early 20s. I didn't care, but I played my role. I played my role. I knew what it was when it wasn't. And that was that, you know? And this whole thing, I think, and I think the thing about it is, in fantasy world, because when you get into that room with that person, you're in a fantasy. You're not in real life. That hotel room, it turns into that big 4-bedroom house. The kids are upstairs. You got the food packed up from dinner. Y'all are just kicking it. Like in that moment, when that man walks to the hotel room, it transforms into the fantasy. And that whole conversation of, I'm going to leave my wife, they're not going to leave their wife, baby. Sorry. If they were really good, baby, if they really wanted to leave their spouse, they would have left them before they met you. Just want to call it what it is. Just want to call it what it is. So, I think we as a people, we got to just start holding people accountable and stop sensationalizing it, because it's something that's it's so crazy, because I don't knock Franklin Flynn, that man preach. I don't. And I just get so upset because in my video, I was like, when you really break up, do you think about it? You talking about, oh, I just feel so bad. No, you don't. No, you don't. You were lusting. You did it. And every item of the clothing that you took off, you had an opportunity to say, I don't want to do this. Unless you were, unless you're an old school hoe like me. Like we just dropped the pants, nothing came off. We better do what it do. I'm old school hoe. But not no more. I'm working on my lust issues, but I don't do things I used to do, But I remember, and it's crazy because I remember one time, right? I was dealing with a married person, and I started catching feelings, and then I started catching an attitude when he wasn't available for me when I wanted him to be. But he reminded me. We had a conversation. And it wasn't an argument, because he was cool and respectable about it. And he was like, this ain't what, this isn't that. Like, we do what we do. I slide you what I slide you. We chill, we kick it, but that's just what that is in that moment. That is what it is. And I had no choice but to respect it, but Jip was like, I'm not leaving my wife. And it wasn't. And this is how and everything I'm speaking to you guys, I'm speaking from experience. And he spoke straight facts on me. He said, if I really wanted to leave her, I would have left her before you. And it wasn't about my worth. It wasn't about my worth. It wasn't. That's just what it was. And the thing about it is, if you can get a person to leave their spouse, that is nothing to brag about. It's nothing to flex about. It's not. It's not. And that doesn't make you worth more. It makes you worth less. Because if you were really worth something valuable, you wouldn't have to sit there and take something that doesn't belong to you. You wouldn't be sitting there taking someone's scraps, dressing it up, and then serving it as if it was a beautiful meal that you prepared. No, that's scraps from somebody else's dinner table. That's like going to a bunch of houses for Thanksgiving, making to-go plates, and then inviting people over, to-going these foods, setting it up as if you made it, and then serving it as if it's your own. They call it scraps for a reason. Can't get full off scraps. That's enough to settle your stomach. It settles it. It doesn't satisfy it. It settles it. It doesn't satisfy it. So, lesson number 1, to all of you that may come across this video who deal with a married person, or you've been there to you, baby, you got to understand what you was getting yourself into. What's yours is yours. And if it's yours, it's not going to belong to somebody else. And don't catch feelings. It is an exchange. That's it. You are a fantasy. You are a vacation. You are not home to that person. That's it. That's all. Play a role. Play your role or resign. It's just that simple. Play your role or quit and go be the main character in your own story, baby. That's how I look at it. But all this stuff about then it's like all this stuff about exposure, and I be sitting here like, okay, so what? And your point? Like, and it's crazy because my friends, like a lot of my friends, no shade, we've all been down that road, but we never got into that situation where it was like, let me go expose somebody. Because a lot of people done been with somebody they weren't supposed to be with. Let's just call it what it is. A lot of people done been with somebody they weren't supposed to be with. A lot of people sat there and they was in somebody else's bed, or they was with somebody else's man, or somebody else's wife, or somebody else's girlfriend. Let's just call it what it is. And I'm gonna also say this to you, okay? If they'll do, and say for instance that man does leave their spouse for you, they leave their spouse for you. Y'all get together, y'all do all this great stuff. You're going to be looking over your shoulder every moment you can. Actually, no, you're gonna be looking over your shoulder every time you feel a slight breeze touch it. Because baby, if they'll do it to you, if they'll do it to them, they'll do it to you. If they'll do it to them, they'll do it to you. And baby, when I tell you, karma will sweep in and tear that ass up for both of you. For both of you. So, yeah, let's talk about it. But nobody wants to have these honest conversations. And I mean, you knew this man was married. You knew this man was a preacher. And you fell in love and you caught feelings. Now you want to, I want to go to the church. For what? For what? You're going as I really felt like it was going as a distraction. As a distraction. And then you got kicked out and you made this whole big scene about it. You weren't going for the word. But you got the attention that you wanted. And you wanted to call them out and expose them. And it's crazy because all the videos, I've just seen clips on Facebook from other people, but I will not watch that boy's videos. I will not give him views. I will not give him likes. I will not give him support. Because I know people are sitting there hyping him up. Why? You feeling bad for him for what? What you gonna do, sue the preacher? I'm gonna sue you. You can't. Baby, you can't sue that man for sleeping with you behind closed doors. And you got mad because you caught feelings and you didn't get a relationship. And you got mad at you. You can't sue him for that. But baby, he didn't promise you nothing. And if he did promise you something in that fantasy, oh, sorry. But we got to start keeping it real with these situations when it comes to exposing people. We got to. Even like, we look at the R. Kelly and the Diddy stuff. Everybody got, I remember when the whole thing with R. Kelly happened, and I watched the videos, and I'm watching them, and I'm watching all these people sit down and recount these stories. And I'm like, why ain't y'all in handcuffs? Because Y'all are accomplices. Andrea Kelly. Andrea Kelly, her ass need to be in handcuffs. And I think it's from the standpoint of y'all be around this stuff. Y'all see what's going on. And the thing about it is you got out and it was years before he got caught or got arrested. So you were sitting on this information. I'm glad I brought her up. An example of motives. That lady in part one did all this F him. Like all this, you ruined my kids' life, you ruined my life, right? And at that time, he owed her child support, back child support, right? 5 figures worth of child support. I want to say it was in the $400,000 to $500,000. That range. It could have been $1 million, one of those numbers, but maybe 7 figures. But not 5 figures. It was allegedly, between 6 to 7 figures worth of child support he owed her. And that documentary came out on Lifetime. She got her back paying child support. When part 2 came out, she had nothing to say and said she was not interested to do any more interviews. You did all this talking because that man owed you money. All this talking because that man owed you money, right? Which I'm pretty sure that child support you didn't get to them kids because that was their money, not yours. Anyways, but you did all this because you didn't have no money, right? No, you were there all along. You got out. You did all this stuff started coming out by R. Kelly, and you did the reality show on VH1. Then the show was canceled. You was doing a little dancing thing, and years and years later, and now you're doing this documentary because you owed money. You're like, F him, da-da-da-da. Then you get your check, all of a sudden, I don't want no parts. Cuff her. A lot of people be sitting there, baby, it's crazy because I sit on the outside looking in. I learned this in my early 30s. It's always a small piece and it's always a big puzzle. And you only see in a small piece. You gotta look at the whole picture. You gotta get the rest of the pieces to put the puzzle together for it to make sense. So, to those of you who jump on bandwagons, take a step back, like, watch and see what happens. And always pay attention to a person's motives and don't judge. And don't judge so quickly. Don't judge so quickly. So, yeah, that's kind of was my talk about today because I was thinking about it. And I was like, all this stuff with the exposure and stuff. And I'm just looking at everything that's going on. And I'm like, none of this is making sense to me. Like, none of it is making sense. And I'm just like, all right, cool. Like, let's just watch and see what the fallout is. So I seen everything falling apart. And then I seen the thing with Sam Franklin, and it just like, it triggered me. It was like, nah, like this ain't adding up. The math ain't mathing. Because I remember when, prime example, I remember when that thing with Jussie Smollett happened. And I made this long dissertation. You would have thought I was, doing my end of the, what is it, whatever it's called, my dissertation to end my thing to get my law degree, whatever it's called, or my clinicals. Like I was doing that. Like that's how bad. Like that. It was bad. So I did this whole thing. It was like, I want to say maybe it was like maybe 2 or 3 paragraphs, only for that man to be a lying asshole. So you always got to sit back and wait for the rest of the pieces of the puzzle to come out. And I mean, if you decide to put them together, put them together. But realize there's always, every story has a front and a back. Make sure you read it from beginning to the end because half the time we're judging just based off the preview. So, yeah, that was kind of my talk I want to talk about. But I keep saying that again. I feel like I'm a preacher. Just give me about, we're almost finishing and closing. And then we're here about 15 more minutes. So, no, but yeah, I talked to my friends about this stuff. And we all, because I had when I do my videos, I have conversations with people just to like get a feel for where I want to go. And just to talk it out. And this was kind of what me and my friends came up with together. It's like, it isn't right. it isn't right. And we really do be sitting there like hyping up and bending backwards and giving opinions without knowing the whole story. And I'm looking crazy. So that's kind of what that is. But yeah, that's my TED Talk for today. I love you all. I will see you all real soon, probably next week.